Namaste, Vanakkam. Okay, some might think that as it's so important to see this video about castes. Uh, in this modern India, do we really need them? Fine. Uh, do you know we are actually forming a new kind of caste these days? Unconsciously. Yes. Don't know how? Fine. What is your job? Are you an engineer, teacher, doctor, analyst, automan, broker, or any other? Okay, now here is the truth. Now you belong to a community or caste. You may not accept this, but you are seen as some class of people by this society based on your occupation. Do you now think that Western culture has eradicated our caste, improved our lifestyle? Please, it isn't now. They have really increased the number of castes. To be more precise, they have enforced the real caste system in modern India. It is a cold war they have created among us by increasing the numbers. But how? Okay, now let me ask you a question. If you belong to any profession and your income is around 40,000 per month, will you really interact and befriend a homeless? Will you people marry any one of them? Or will you allow them to enter your home with rights? Don't you feel that our society treats them like untouchables? The needy and blue collar workers are treated like untouchables. Haven't you noticed that? Do you still think Western culture is far better than our ancient Indian culture? If you think so, then you have been fooled. Does your owner teaches you everything about the business he do? Did he ever reveal you the tricks? Don't you feel that you are treated as an untouchable? You should. You may say that it is the business ethics. How would they reveal? You can ask me. Then I'm asking you, why you people are hindering the ethics of Sanatana Dharma? Why you people keep degrading the real values of our own culture without really knowing what it really meant to be? Why do you question that why Vedas are prohibited to be learned by commons? You are then arriving an opinion that Indians and Hinduism is unjust. Why can't you question this mixed up society to reveal best practical things out? I'm just questioning you, but really Vedas can be learned by anyone. Do you know who is the modern day Dalits and untouchables? The beggars, blue collar workers, and the people who are filed with criminal cases are the modern day Dalits and untouchables. Will you offer a job to a man who had been sentenced for a murder or theft? No, right? Or will you offer a job to his son or his wife without any second opinions? No, right? If all these Dalits and untouchable joins and rise against you for equality, how would it really be? These Dalits or untouchables, as defined in modern India, was existed in the ancient India too. The people at that era isolated them from their routine life just to protect them. Is it wrong? I don't think so. But the real mistake that the people still do is they have some misconception in classifying people. Every Hindu must acknowledge that the ancient caste system never stated that their caste is originated from their birth. Vedas didn't tell anything like that. Remember, Sanatana Dharma treats everyone equally. People did follow a blind caste system. We should not take it as a legacy, and at the same time, we should never forget our community tags. It is our ancestors' tag. We should inspire them but live better than them. Don't ever ignore your ancestors, as they are the reason that you have got this body as a thing to vanish all your karma. Be proud of whatever your ancestors were. Now, who wrote Vedas? Are they really holy texts? Do they really acknowledge the modern caste system? Is there any relativity with the jobs in modern India and with the caste system? Do you think the caste system is a tyranny? And is that the reason for your hatred adhering to Hinduism? Remember, I am not here to preach Hinduism, but I am outspoken. Pray to your God, but you should know the societal justice. I think justice won't differ by religion. It remains same. Now watch the video completely with patience, whoever you are, but you belong to this society, so you should know this. I said that the caste is partially a classification of people. Why is this classification a need? I don't prefer saying that the caste is a need, but the classification is a need. There's a difference. It is because we always need to predict the productivity of something and improve the statistics in every aspect of us. In order to improve the statistics, one must know the capabilities of men. This will provide the real-time logic for effective use of manpower, which in turn increases the productivity of an individual. In order to predict someone's capability, we need to know about his environment, interpersonal relationship, and the education. Because these are the driving factors of one's character, which is responsible for one's capability. Although his prediction may fail, uh, this prediction may fail due to the lack of sources one would get. So, a spontaneous evaluation along with the minimal sources of information about one person is important. As I said, the modern caste system is all about profession. This kind of classifying people must be still improved by mixing it with the ancient caste system. I will explain about it in my next video. Now, what was the ancient caste system suggested? Before that, let me clear your doubts. Fine, who wrote Vedas? Vedas are considered as holy scriptures by Hindus. They are sacred texts which are called as Shruti, which means sound literally, which is heard. They are heard by ancient rishis after intense meditation. We could hear them too, but probably too difficult. Is that true really? That is, of course. Fine, let me arrive the point. What is a caste? A class or group of people usually called as community or caste. This is your definition. What is it as per the holy text? Actually, as per Vedas, there is no caste. There are two terms in Vedas called as Jati and Varna. A Jati means something which is based on the classification of origin. I'll interpret you clearly. An initial broad classification is of fourfold. Udbija, which means coming out of ground like plants, is a Jati. Andaja, which means coming out of eggs like birds, reptiles, is a Jati. Pindaja, which means mammals, is a Jati. Ushmaj, which means which reproduce through temperature like bacteria, virus, is a Jati. Now it is clear, human species wholly represents a Jati, which means a source of origin, which has a similar physical structure. Therefore, one Jati can crossbreed, acknowledged by science too. And we know now what is a Varna. Varna is a class of people. So, what are the types of Varna? Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are the major classification. Before that, we should know about the three gunas. The three gunas are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. We know already. Every living and non-living being exhibit this guna in this universe. The Sattva guna is responsible for active, gentle, and high thinking capability. The Rajas guna is responsible for innate tendency that drives motion, energy, and activity. The Tamas guna is responsible for lethargy, inactivity, and dullness. Fine. Now, based on the ascendancy of any one of these three gunas, people are classified, which is known as Varna. The people who is more influenced by Tamas guna, which is responsible for lethargy, dullness, and inactivity, is classified as under Shudras. The people who is more influenced by Rajas guna, which is responsible for driving and energy, is classified as Kshatriyas. The people who is more dominated by Sattva guna, which is responsible for a balanced state, calmness, and clear thinking capability, are classified as Brahmins. Those who acquire Brahmajnana can attain this state. Now, the people with balanced dominancy of all these three gunas are classified under Vaishyas. They are called as all-rounders. Therefore, they were given the responsibility for trading in the ancient days. The Brahmins were the higher authority as they have a good ability to direct the society in the right path. The Kshatriyas were the warriors, as they are the risk takers who would do any work with passion. The Shudras were like the foundation of the society, who would do any work only when there is a drive. They needed to be constantly driven by someone or something. Now, I have heard many people say that they have got offended by the statement from Purush Sukta that from the mouth of Lord Vishnu, Brahmins have originated. From the hands of Kshatriyas, Kshatriyas have originated. From the thighs, Vaishyas have originated, and from the legs of Lord Vishnu, Shudras have originated. people need to understand that it is just a metaphor for the hierarchy of authority. As I said, Brahmins hold the higher authority. Next to that, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras follow. It is just a metaphor stating the body of Lord Vishnu. You need to think at least how can from God we can originate. Even from God's feet, if we would have originated, we must be defined then. Okay, this is apart. As I said, Jati is different and Varna is different. Varna doesn't come by birth. Anyone can become anything. You might also have a doubt which might seem contradictory, that it is based on one's karma to be born as a Brahmin, Vaishya, Kshatriyas or Shudras. The real fact is we are twice born. One as a body, Pinda, and other as Guna. It is stated that the Varna, Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishyas are Dvijas. The meaning is twice born, as I said. It literally means that we are born as a Shudra and it is in our hands to become a Brahmin, Vaishyas or Kshatriyas. The second birth we can take based on our gunas. We accept it. What does karma do then? Karma sometimes causes obstacles, sometimes give you the drive based on your good or bad deeds. If you did something bad, then it will render you the obstacles for taking the second birth. So people find it hard to break these obstacles and so they remain as Shudras itself. This is the reason that karma is relative to Varna. The thing why we misunderstood the concept of caste system in modern India as hereditary system is because our ancestors relied on common sense rather than the real sastras. And we still do it, right? We will blend the laws according to our own circumstances. Like that, so they did. They did the same, but it turned out to be a major mistake. They regarded the child who was born to a Brahmin would be a Brahmin because they thought Brahmin parents never teach them wrong, and they actually did that so. And they thought men who belong to Kshatriyas would teach their child about their occupation, and they did that so. This happened with Vaishyas and Shudras. So then the Varna has become as the hereditary factor, like how today's political analogy exists. Let's think that you struggle to become a leader or rich, and one day eventually you turned out to be rich. Will your child be poor? Don't you offer all your assets to your child? You would do. That's what they did. Remember, we should also share some resources with everyone. As the modern India has mixed up social classes, we should not be partial. This is what our ancestors have did unconsciously, or maybe eventually something they did. We should commit that it was a mistake and should blend ourselves by treating and lending resources equally to everyone in today's world. So when westernization has perpetrated in India, a nagging question among youths of Shudras rose a voice: why should we bow, but this is not our destiny? This must be taken positively and must be regarded delicately by every Hindus, and every Hindus now who think that the caste originates by birth should quit that thought and should provide good resources for our children and their fellow beings to take their second birth as best as possible. That is the real Dharma. I will continue on this in my next video. Nandri, Shambho Mahadev.